You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good day and welcome to the Mushie Moment for Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. Hey, Cindy, how's your day going?
Hey, Steve. I'm good.
Oh, I see you're getting ready to go to the border?
Go to the border?
Oh, when I go to the border, everybody puts their gloves on there. Oh, sorry. What's the good news?
Arthritis is not my friend today, so I have paint spray sprayed all over my hand and a glove on to keep the heat in.
Well, I guess you just can't beat it. Beat it.
Yeah.
So.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, actually. Been out, well, hang on. Let me bring over some beauties and show them.
Steve's been hunting.
It's been some awesome foraging lately.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that beautiful little kid.
Oh, hello, beautiful girl. Look at this big one. Yeah, this is the one I want to see. Look at that.
It's just huge. Yeah, there's been some awesome foraging. It's been a really good year for the Amanita. Well, for me, for Amanita. Yeah, it's the last week or so has been quite a a little bit of rain, a little bit of sun. They said, oh, it's gonna rain for like a week solid, and it was a rain for a day and then a bit of sun, and you get that with the right temperature, and the Amanitas have just been going crazy. So it's gonna be a good year for medicine.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Oh, I need to move something here. Excuse me for a second. There we go. So what's the news, huh? What's the news?
What's the news? Oh, well, yeah. What is the news?
Well, the news is that John's going to be having his art show this month, Premier Art Exhibition, November 22nd, and then the 23rd is the grand opening of the Thrive Bio-Optimizers company, which is pretty exciting for me. More health products out there, more nutritional fixing things. That's all good news on my end.
Yeah. On the 17th of the month, I will be, and I'm nervous as fuck about this, but I will be speaking here in Nova Scotia at the Halifax Regional Library in the BMO room. We start at 6:30. And doing that with the Nova Scotia Psychedelic Society. I will be speaking on different medicines that I work with and what they are used for. I will talk a little bit about what the medicines are and, et cetera, but I will be focusing more on what we use them for, what they are good for, contraindications, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm nervous and excited about that. I'll have my notes, but, I'll do my best to not read from the notes and keep it from the heart. But there's a lot of technical stuff there, so I'll have my notes. We will be streaming it as the Nova Scotia Psychedelic Society, and Al and I have chatted. He's hoping to stream it on the PACE network as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I know we're both missing the Spirit Plant Medicine Conference because it's not actually happening this month, which is a bummer. It's
Yeah,
something.
the news. Yeah, the news that we have received about that. I was chatting with Mark Caron here a while back, probably about a month and a half or so back, and they were thinking about having a small one this month. That obviously didn't happen, but they have moved it to May. So I'm hoping that, he said they were moving it to May. So I'm hoping that we will soon hear from them, and we will soon start seeing things come together for May of 2026 for the conference. Fingers crossed that comes to fruition.
Yep.
Yeah.
I missed it. It's a lot of fun.
It is. I mean, normally this time of year, I'm either already there or preparing to get there in the next day or two to prepare for the conference. And I'm looking around me going, this isn't right. I'm not supposed to be here. But yeah.
Yeah. Maybe in May it may happen.
Fingers crossed it does happen. I know a lot of people are excited for it, and it's caused some chit chat. When we had Andrew on the show talking about the Spirit Plant Medicine Conference, he talked about wanting to not hold it at UBC again this year, which is part of the reason it's not being held this month. Another reason why it's not being held is they realize that November, we're coming up to Christmas, and this day and age, that makes it really hard for people to be able to afford the conference. So fingers crossed it happens in May. And, we'll see if it still happens in BC, because when we had Andrew on, he was talking about East Coast somewhere. So who knows? Yeah. I just hope it happens. I don't care where, just I hope it happens. The gathering in the community, it's the Canadian community, and it comes together, and it's so beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. And it brings lots of people into education and takes away a lot of fear for a lot of people when they come and they hear the speakers and they meet the people and see the products and learn actually, how they work and what they do.
Yeah.
Pretty darn awesome.
Yeah, it is. And it would be nice to see it happen. It's the Psychedelic Society here, like the speaker series is their first step towards something like that. So I mean, I'm hopeful to see more psychedelic societies across the country come together and hold these conferences. And if we work together, we don't have to compete for which province it is. Like, I mean, we can all do it. We can all come together and we could all be part of it and have a presence. So yeah, somebody host a conference. We miss it.
Sponsor us. We'll host it. Woo! Go conference.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, maybe we should reach out to Andrew and say, hey, like, listen, or Mark, and say, like, we want to help. Like, come on, like, we need this. Like, it's already missed. We're not even there at that time yet, and it's already missed. We know it's not happening. Nobody's preparing. Nobody's like, oh my God, like, we got to get this together. You're usually running around like a chicken with your head cut off right now between gathering amanitas and preparing stuff for the show. And yeah. And like this year, we're
not
here.
The only ones missing it.
No, we're not. Quite a few people are. So it would, I'm probably going to reach out to Mark again soon and say, hey, so what's going on for May? Just because I want to know. I'm curious, and I want to see it happen, because I want to be able to plan my trip as well.
This will be the first year in a few years that Tony hasn't had a table beside us.
Yeah, like we don't get to see Tony in a few days, like, or Willow, or. Yeah. It's definitely missed. And I know, like, I mean, the people that I sat with in Breathwave, I know that there was a few of them who used to come out to it as well. So everybody's missing it, and everybody's thinking about it, and everybody's kind of holding their breath to see what Mark and Andrew do with the next move. And we're watching too. So as soon as we know, we'll share.
We'll let you know.
Yeah. So we're going to share a few interesting news stories today in the middle of our conversations. Yeah. A couple that caught our eye. There's three in particular. One may take a lot of time to talk about because it's quite interesting. Something we've both been following for a couple of years now. But the first one's kind of cute, and it caught my attention because speaking of Tony, the last time I saw Tony, the first time I saw Tony, the first year I met Tony, he introduced me to a mushroom, and he gifted me 4 grams of it. And he said, "Now, Cindy, go be very, very, very careful with this because a quarter to a half a gram of this is like 4 or 5 grams of golden teachers." And I'm like, okay, now I'm scared. Don't take it all at once. I gotcha. So he gifted me this beautiful mushroom. And I love the name of it. And a story popped up about this, and we decided to share it with you. And it's coming to us today from Mugglehead magazine. The picture that pops up is super, super freaking cute. And the story is researchers to start FDA-approved study on Jedi mindfuck psilocybin.
First of its kind trial in the U.S. on whole mushrooms for PTSD. That's pretty cool just in itself. It's on whole mushrooms rather than we've got to extract. Arizona's Scottsdale Research Institute is expecting to commence a novel psilocybin study this month. It will be the first in the United States examining the application of whole psilocybin mushrooms for treating post-traumatic stress disorder among veterans and first responders. On October 28th, the Phoenix-based nonprofit Psychedelics Lab formally announced the beginning of the clinical trial. It will be led by Dr. Sue Sisley, a renowned magic mushroom and cannabis researcher who currently serves as the Institute's president and principal director.
However, Sisley informed the Phoenix News-Times in late October that the study still needed a stamp of approval from the DEA. She said Scottsdale expects to receive it within the next few weeks. Post-approval, the investigation will begin by assessing the impact of the Jedi mindfuck psilocybin strain cultivated by Scottsdale on a group of, get this, 24 police officers, military service veterans, and firefighters. They will be receiving, holy fuck nuts, 4.5 grams of dried Jedi mindfuck psychedelic fungi while under medical supervision. Wow.
That's you're probably not hanging on dose.
Oh,
That's you're gonna let go.
You're gonna feel it. Yeah, I did a half a gram of the Jedi mindfuck, and wow.
Yeah. At the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies conference this year, Sisley jokingly said she chose that variety of mushroom because she enjoyed being able to write it on government forms. This landmark study, made possible by the leadership of the Arizona legislature, Governor Katie Hobbs, and the state of Arizona Health Department, reflects our mission to deliver real-world data that can guide policy and expand access to promising treatments for patients with PTSD, said Sisley.
The United States Food and Drug Administration gave its assent to the clinical trial in late March. The distinction, combined with the fact the whole shrooms are being used, makes it a first-of-its-kind undertaking. Previous clinical research with assent from the administration has exclusively relied on psilocybin extracts. In the news release from Scottsdale, State Senator Kevin Payne voiced his support for the research initiative.
Arizona is proud to lead the way with this pioneering study, which reflects our commitment to evidence-based, responsible exploration of new treatment options for patients in need, he said. The clinical research is being funded by a portion of a $5 million US dollar taxpayer sum that the Arizona legislature allocated to psilocybin studies in 2023 through passing House Bill 2486. This legislation established a psilocybin research advisory council under the Department of Health Services.
Psilocybin remains an illegal Schedule 1 substance in Arizona, but the state has cautiously supported studies on the compound for therapeutic indications. Scottsdale also studies the impact of LSD on terminally ill patients and has been authorized to complete trials involving MDMA for the treatment of PTSD. Very cool.
Look at that batch of shrooms he's got there. What is that? Jedi mindfuck psilocybin mushrooms grown in Arizona.
Wow. Very cool.
Yes, that's it's nice that they're not just using whole mushrooms, but they're actually just, they you know that if they're starting with a strain, they're going to try the differences of different strains. And now you're finding out what the differences are in the medications, and they're doing it with science, and this is all awesome. I'm loving this.
Well, I like the fact that they're using real mushrooms. They're not creating 4-ACO DMT. They're not creating a synthetic psilocin. They're using real mushrooms and they're growing them properly. And, they're going to do the study with that. I think it's incredible that they're using such a powerful mushroom. Like I said, Tony gifted me that 4, plus grams there a couple years ago. And I've tried it, half a gram. And I felt like I was on probably 2+ grams of golden teachers, which is what I'm used to. And the visuals with the Jedi mindfuck were incredible. I've had some pretty cool visuals with penis envies and with blue meanies, and then, a few others. B+ is the other one that's given me some pretty incredible visuals. But I have to be honest, the Jedi mindfuck really knocked the rest of them out of the park. So I know what a half a gram is like. And these people are going to do an extra 4 on top of that. And we're talking massive hero dose and very, very large potential for some amazing healing.
We'll find out.
I'm sure. I can't wait for the study to be done and to be shared. I'm sure that Steve and I will take a news day and talk about it. I'm going to want to take a news day and talk about it. So it's a pretty incredible study that's going on. And I'm really excited to see, like I said, to see the whole fruit being like the whole mushroom fruit being used versus extracting the psilocybin or creating the 4-ACO DMT. I'm really excited to see that happen because there are other compounds in there that they all work together, and it's kind of like cannabis. You need the whole plant for it to really work. Different variations. Like, sometimes you want like a majority of CBD, but you still need those other elements in there to have everything working correctly. You need whole plant. And I think it's the same thing for fungi. You need whole fungi. You need the whole mycelium, the whole bit, every part of it for it to work in the body.
For it to do its magic. Sorry.
Steve loves his dad jokes. We love Steve's dad jokes too. So
I think they're a combination of ADHD and stupidity.
So we do have a couple more stories. One more for before the break. We've got 10 minutes to sit here and chat about this one. This one caught my eye, something I never thought I'd see. It is again coming to us from Mugglehead magazine. And this one says, the Catholic Church pays for abuse victims' magic mushroom therapy.
Psilocybin-assisted therapy is proven to be a valuable tool in a sexual abuse victim's quest for peace of mind. Although many report that taking magic mushrooms is beneficial for overcoming past demons, this particular case is exceptional.
Last year, a 63-year-old Pennsylvania man convinced the Roman Catholic Diocese of Altoona, Johnstown, to pay him to undergo legal psychedelic-assisted therapy in Oregon. Chuck Lovett was sexually abused by the church priests when he was 12 years old and has been struggling mentally because of it ever since. Now, he says, the weight he had been carrying for decades has been largely lifted.
It was a beautiful, warm experience, he said in an interview with Portland-based media outlet Willamette Week on October 22nd. It felt like the universe had me in its hands. It wasn't easy for him to convince the church to pay for his unorthodox treatment, though. They were reluctant to do so initially, saying that he needed a referral from a licensed Pennsylvania therapist. Unlike Oregon, psilocybin is illegal in Pennsylvania, and obtaining such a recommendation wasn't possible.
Lovett didn't give up, though, and he continued pressing. He said he was going to receive psilocybin therapy anyways and go public with his story of abuse and funding refusal if the church didn't agree to foot the bill for his psychedelic ambitions. Once he did that, the diocese agreed to give him $6,000 for psilocybin therapy within about a half an hour, as highlighted by Willamette Week. In 2024, he spent the money on a 4-day trip to Oregon to receive the psychoactive fungi with facilitators in a therapeutic setting.
The diocese's victim assistant coordinator said it was a one-time exception made for Chuck that the church generally only supports traditional counseling therapies. Lovett was inspired to try psychedelic mushrooms after reading Michael Pollan's book, How to Change Your Mind, which was eventually made into a Netflix series.
Yeah. He also discussed his experiences with psilocybin on the Karma Cola podcast earlier this year. Remarkable that the Catholic Church, once punishing psilocybin use with death, now funds psychedelic therapy, commented one psychedelics enthusiast.
Oregon was the first American state that agreed to legalize psilocybin for therapeutic purposes 5 years ago. There are approximately 30 licensed magic mushroom treatment centers statewide, primarily concentrated in Portland.
Wow.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
And that's, again, these are just beginnings. Really, these are just beginnings.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, two things caught me in that story. Like, he said, like, if you don't do this, I'm going to go public. And he went public anyway. God bless him. And then the Catholic Church said, this is a one-time only thing. We don't do this. Well, I'm sorry, Catholic Church. You've now set the precedent.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I had to have some hot water.
Oh, I understand. You got to get your cacao. So, yeah, like, they've now set the precedent. I find that amazing. And I hope that more people that have been hurt in such ways come forward and ask for the same thing. And now that it's been done once, I think it'll happen again and again and again. I hope it'll happen again and again and again.
Especially with, the fact that just from reading this story, it's obviously a positive outcome. Right?
Yep. Yeah, it helped him.
Wow. That'll be unreal if funding starts happening for people to actually get the healing, be it, through ibogaine, ibogaine, or 5-MeO, or psilocybin, whichever is needed for the people to find their healing. It's nice to see that, a person, there's a possibility in the future that a person doesn't have to try and save up 10 grand to motor off somewhere out of the country to find somebody in a jungle that can help them heal. It'd be nice if we could have the healing happening all around where people need it.
And it does to a fashion. There are people like you and I around, and many, many more. But it's the affordability, like you say, to go for iboga, especially if you are somebody who is suffering from addiction and you're going for iboga to get clean, or to you've now detoxed and you want to kind of solidify that. You are looking at an $8,000 to $20,000 retreat. If you're already clean and you're going in that way, you're closer to the 8. If you are still in active addiction and they have to get clean supply and help wean you off, you're looking at 20,000+ depending on where you're going. So healing is not cheap, and healing isn't cheap because it's illegal, and people have to run, and people have to hide, and people have to get the medicine, but they have to get the medicine through the black market because of the way the government views all of these plants and fungi and frogs and toads. Like, these are things that were put on this earth to help us, and we figured out how to use them. And we have seen it over the millennia for most of these medicines, how they help people and what they do. So I find it saddened that all of this stuff is illegal. So I would like to see it move forward so we can actually have it covered. And people like myself who have been trained in amazing facilities and with amazing people, like actual, experts in the area, people that have been doing this and helping to regulate it properly for years. Let us be the service people. We don't have to be the therapists. You know what I mean? Those really should be two different people, your facilitator and your therapist. They should. Therapists should not be facilitators and vice versa. So it would be nice to see that move forward and have more of it covered by Health Canada or insurance or something to make it affordable for those people, for anybody. Because not every medicine is for every person, but everybody should have the right to try the medicines and find the one that's right for them.
Yep, find the one that works. Yep.
Yep. You want to say anything? I mean, I've babbled, very well there.
Yeah, no, you did. You covered it up pretty good. Maybe I should say, hey, it's about time to hear from our sponsors. So hang out. We'll be right back after this awesome message.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Camelford Lifestyle Shop, open Monday to Friday from 10 till 7 p.m. or by chance. Check out our flags, our t-shirts, plus our hats, and look of that supply of rolling papers, plus much more. We've got bongs and your favorite herbal vaporizers. Look at all the incense we have, as well as for those who collect knives, check out these knives in our collection. And while you're here, stop in to see Shay at the piercing room, where you can get poked by Shay. Daily deals, check them out. Camelford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Camelford, Ontario. Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420. Rerolled Saturdays. Check it out. Nothing but non-stop cannabis and psychedelic programming. Find it at 420pace.ca.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Welcome back to the Mushie Moment for Tuesday, November 4th. You're here with myself and my awesome co-host, Rev Cindy.
Hi.
Anything new and exciting happening?
Yeah, I just realized that I have the wrong date on the Welcome to the Mush moment.
Oh, you do?
I do.
What date do you have?
I have Welcome to the Mushy moment for November 5th, 2025.
Oh, well, we'll have to play it again tomorrow.
That's funny. Funny,
Oh.
funny, funny.
Hey, the Schumann's been hitting up to 55 hertz. 20 hertz to 55 hertz you get in a subwoofer. You can feel that frequency. And our planet has been shaking at that frequency. It's actually been spiking and hitting that frequency in the last little while. Probably because of them solar flares and plasma blasts that have been rocking us. But I thought it was interesting that, you know, if you look up the history of the resonance of the planet, there's like a crap ton of years where it never goes, it doesn't even hit 20 hertz because it normally vibrates at 7.83 or resonates at 7.83. And there's like, from the time they started recording it to, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, there was nothing above 20 hertz. And then all of a sudden, boom, it started rocking up into the 20, 30, 40. And the other day, it actually hit 55 hertz. Like that's a low tone.
How does that? Why not explain to people how that affects us? Because we do talk about the solar flares and the Schumann quite a bit, you know, privately, but we bring it up once in a while here too. So why not explain?
Well, those frequencies, if you're listening to music and you turn off your subwoofer, you're turning off like 100 hertz and underneath. You're turning off 50, 100, and we hear right down to 20 hertz. So all of that low stuff that moves you, all the real subsonic lows, right? Even with movies, you're watching movies, you get those subsonic lows, and it kind of makes things more intense, right? And when the planet actually resonates at those frequencies, it's not something the planet's supposed to do, but they actually are frequencies we feel and they affect us. So depending on what's going on, it's not even just us. Even the animals will be acting weird because the ground it's resonating like a speaker at a frequency that we actually can feel. So yeah, a lot of people will feel things like anxiety or just kind of a tension, right? Because if you take away the sub, you lose the tension in the movie, right? You put that subwoofer in there and that builds that all that low tone vibration. It builds up the tension. So when the planet's kind of resonating in that frequency, along with the different frequencies from the solar flares hitting the planet, along with the consciousness wave of where people's minds are, because people are pretty riding in a fear-based frequency a lot. So yeah, it's just interesting to, you know, catch things like, oh, the planet actually is resonating at a frequency that we play in our subwoofer when we're watching a movie. That's me babbling for a while.
That's
Didn't
good.
make any sense.
Do you want to talk about the next story?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So this one is coming to us from the BBC. FDA advisors vote against MDMA therapy. Researchers are still fighting for it.
A vote against using MDMA as part of therapy for PTSD has provoked a powerful backlash among researchers who study psychedelic drugs. Some 13 million Americans struggle with post-traumatic stress disorder, and existing therapies only bring relief for a fraction of patients, and new treatments are sorely needed, according to psychiatrists wrestling with the scale of the problem. So there was distinct disappointment when an advisory committee at the U.S. Food and Drug Administration voted earlier this month against a therapy that many had hoped could offer the first new treatment for PTSD in 25 years.
A number of experts who study psychedelics have since spoken out in support of MDMA-assisted therapy for PTSD and have sharply criticized the recommendation of the FDA's Psychopharmacological Drugs Advisory Committee. But some are still optimistic that the treatment might be approved when the FDA delivers its final decision in August. When was the story done? This was back in June. This was a year ago.
Oh, you know what? I actually grabbed the wrong one because
story.
the FDA has put out a response to this as to why they did it.
Okay.
Do we want to continue with this one?
I can. Well, no. Why don't you tell us about this other story, and I'm going to see if I can find it.
Okay. If you type in FDA response on MDMA, it'll probably bring him up.
Okay.
Because apparently there's, like, as this one was saying, there was a lot of outcry about it. And I guess for August, they must have stuck to their guns on it. And now they've released a statement about it.
I got something.
Have you found it?
Yeah, I've got something. So I'm going to share it here. It'll be there in a second. So keep going. Keep chatting.
Okay, because it was just kind of weird how they cut it all back, right? What was it? The deputy director of research at the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs National Center for PTSD said he was unconvinced by the acute efficacy of the treatment as demonstrated by the data reported in the phase 3 trials. The difference between the active and the placebo group is statistically significant by the author's analysis, but relatively small enough that I think the role of expectation bias cannot at all be discounted as potentially accounting for a lot of the difference. So they were kind of talking about the study itself and saying, we don't know if we can really use that one, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so I just shared a short story that you can, it's in the private chat. I'm going to bring it up here in just a second. I'm going to share this.
Yep.
So this one is in response to what Steve was just talking about. So this is coming to us from Psychiatric Times. And the FDA releases complete response letter on declining MDMA-assisted therapy for PTSD.
Okay, the key takeaways: the FDA's release of CRLs, including Lykos pharmaceutical case, signifies a move towards transparency in drug approval decisions. MAPS criticized the FDA for changing study design recommendations, highlighting inconsistencies in the CRL regarding MDMA-assisted therapy for PTSD.
Yeah, and two more takeaways are the CRL cited issues like treatment durability and prior MDMA use, despite no significant differences in study results between experienced and inexperienced people. And the last takeaway they have listed here is Lykos and MAPS remain committed to advancing MDMA research, training therapists, and promoting psychedelic-assisted healing globally.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has publicly released a complete response letter to Lykos Pharmaceuticals, making public for the first time the details of their decision to decline approval of MDMA-assisted therapy for individuals with post-traumatic stress disorder. Lykos Pharmaceuticals previously received the FDA decision to decline approval of the treatment in August of 2024, and the control letter was only released publicly this week. The particular case comes with a move by the FDA to release 89 previously unpublished letters and begin releasing future letters to the public immediately after issuing them to sponsors.
Releasing previous CRLs marks a shift towards public transparency in drug approval decisions by the FDA. Previously issued CRLs will be posted publicly. All new ones will be promptly shared. And CRLs from prior withdrawn applications will be shared as well. This is the first time the FDA has approved such a level of transparency regarding their decision-making. MAPS, the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies, while not working directly with the FDA, held a press briefing to further discuss the contents of the CRL on rejection of MDMA-assisted therapy for post-traumatic stress, Rick Doblin, PhD, who is also the founder and president of MAPS, said in this briefing that there was a changing of the goalposts by the FDA, as the CRL noted study design issues that had not been marked during their extensive discussions with the FDA about every single aspect of the protocol design in the special protocol assessment process. According to Doblin, researchers had worked with the FDA to create an effective double-blind study design, and the design is notoriously difficult with working with psychedelic drugs. Doblin also pointed out that the FDA's letter did not address the amendment that Lykos submitted addressing previous issues.
Doblin outlined the conversations between researchers and the FDA in designing the study, emphasizing that design elements initially recommended during the special assessment were noted as issues in the CRL. The FDA had recommended not using a low-dose comparison arm and instead using a placebo group, but then wrote in the CRL to consider inclusion of a low-dose midomethamphetamine arm as a control. The letter also cited lack of durability of treatment and concerns about participants having prior experience with MDMA use. Doblin pointed out that in the study results, there was no significant differences between patients with prior MDMA use experience and patients who had no prior experience. The statement from MAPS added that Lykos will continue negotiations with the FDA. MAPS will keep driving forward, incubating and accelerating new MDA-focused research, training therapists around the globe, catalyzing humanitarian projects in high trauma, low resource areas of the world, and building the infrastructure for a future where psychedelic-assisted healing and personal growth is not delayed by shifting politics, but delivered as a matter of compassion and justice.
Mm-hmm. And then below, there are some references. So if you check out this article, which is on the PACE News page, just so you know, they offer some links, so you can take a look at the MAPS statement on FDA's public release of complete response letter, and then you can take a look at the complete response from the FDA. And then we go down to issues with Lykos, the CRL to Lykos for the MDMA assisted. So you can take a look at everything that they've talked about directly with those links.
Wow.
Mm. Thoughts?
Comments? It's moving forward. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Right? That's, as long as it keeps moving forward, that's what matters. And it's just one of the medicines that needs to be tested and worked with. There's but at least the healing is coming along, right?
It's it's slow steps. I mean, we were all so shocked when the FDA denied. Rick Doblin did a lot of work. He spent months and years putting this together and getting it ready and following protocols and jumping through hoops and putting out fires and doing everything he does. And then to have it shot down, it was shocking to everybody because everybody thought he got it right. He thought he got it right. According to what he was told to do, he did get it right. Really. So it was quite sad to see it knocked down. Yeah.
That's okay. It's just for now, right?
It is.
10 years ago, people wouldn't have even thought that it would have been even proposed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And, Doblin is a very, very bright man. So, I'm sure he has spent the time since that decision regrouping and preparing and getting ready to stand up and fight once again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Generally when you're dealing with the government, you get refused the first time around on anything. So you got to always come back a second time. And sometimes you get refused that second time. You got to come back a third time. So, no, I think it's pretty amazing just to, from where from where I start looking into things to start creating my microdosing and working within that realm to where we are now, for me, seriously, just blows my mind. When I started to try and get a lot of info on how to heal, it was hard. You were tunneling, you were going down rabbit holes, you were reading blogs of people that had used stuff to heal and how did they use it, and it was it's nice to
And
see as much of it going on.
it was super hard to find information. Like just before I met you, probably about a year before I met you, I mean, I was working my butt off to find information about microdosing and whatnot. And I had another friend who we've had on the show, Sita. She reached out to me. Like, I found the Fadiman information is what I found, but that took me hours of searching and clicking and trying to get the right words. And but I eventually found it and I was able to follow it. And then I had to figure out how to find the right mushrooms and how to do all that, which is where my friend Sita came in. But yeah, it took a long time from deciding I was going to try this microdosing that I had heard about to actually finding the right information and getting it together, and figuring it out and making caps. That was months. And so, I mean, it's really exciting to see this information out here. I mean, like, I know that you've gathered information, you've put it together in a beautiful way. Other people have put out, information, and it's nice to see it talked about more. There are more protocols for microdosing, different ways to do it, different like protocols to take, whether you take it every third day, which is the Fadiman protocol, or if you do a 3-week protocol with a week off. I mean, there's so many different ways to do the microdosing. And, it's the same as, we've heard this about cannabis for years. You have to find the way that works for you, the strain that works for you. Because there are just as many strains of fungi as there are of cannabis, if not more.
And it's which medication and what's your dosing. Everybody's dosing, tends to be different on a lot of things. They've got to find what definitely the protocol. What protocol works for you? What is it you're trying to achieve? There's a lot to it. But, the big thing is start small, work your way up, so that you don't get scared off with something that's too much right off the start. Just start small and slowly increase to find your dose. Even the doctors do that. Start just small and increase to find your dose. Do things in a safe manner.
I agree. Did you want to talk about that last story?
Sure, let's get in there and see what's going on.
Absolutely. So this story is coming to us from Onco Daily, and it says psychedelics in cancer care, a new frontier in healing.
At the Society for Integrative Oncology 2025 annual meeting, one of the most talked about plenary sessions explored psychedelics in cancer care, bringing together leading experts from Yale, Harvard, and international research institutions. Moderated by Dr. Miriam A. Elberg of Yale Cancer Center and Dr. Linda Carson, the session examined how psychedelic-assisted therapy could transform the management of psychological, spiritual, and physical suffering in cancer patients.
Yes.
Cancer, as described by Dr. Anna Yusum of Yale University, is an existential earthquake. Beyond pain and physical symptoms, patients often experience anxiety, demoralization, and a loss of meaning. Psychedelics, she explained, offer a unique dual action pathway, acting biologically on serotonin signaling and inflammation, while simultaneously addressing existential and spiritual distress.
Early studies from Johns Hopkins University and New York University have shown that a single psilocybin-assisted session can lead to rapid and sustained reductions in anxiety and depression among patients with life-threatening cancers. In some cohorts, over 60% achieved full remission of depression symptoms with effects lasting 6 months or longer. Patients frequently describe their psychedelic experience as among the most meaningful of their lives, often reporting new feelings of peace, forgiveness, and connection. Dr. Yvonne Bassant from Dana-Farber Cancer Institute and Harvard Medical School presented a comprehensive review of clinical trials, noting that between 2011 and 2024, more than 10 modern studies have evaluated psilocybin, MDMA, and related compounds for depression, anxiety, and existential distress in cancer patients.
Most trials demonstrate both safety and feasibility, including those in patients undergoing active chemotherapy. The emerging data have been strong enough that 2023 JAMA Psychiatry Guidelines formally mentioned psychedelics as a potential adjunct in treating cancer-related depression and demoralization, marking a historic milestone for integrative oncology. Dr. Bassant highlighted the first group-based psilocybin study in cancer patients with major depressive disorder. 80% of participants showed significant improvement, and over half reached remission within 8 weeks. Group settings were found to enhance safety, connection, and emotional openness, suggesting a feasible model for clinical integration.
Wow. Another feasibility trial at Dana-Farber tested psilocybin in patients with terminal cancer and demoralization syndrome, supported by a multidisciplinary team of palliative physicians, chaplains, and music therapists. Despite severe symptom burden, participants achieved 50% reduction in demoralization within 3 weeks, and both patients and families described profound emotional healing. The final plenary talk by Professor Vitaly Napadow of Harvard Medical School delved into the neurobiological mechanisms underlying psychiatric therapy, focusing on the therapeutic alliance, the empathetic connection between patient and clinician. And that was supposed to be psychedelic therapy, not.
Using hyperscanning neuroimaging, his team simultaneously recorded brain activity in both therapist and patient during treatment. Interesting. They discovered synchronized activation in regions associated with empathy and social connection, particularly the temporal parietal junction, correlating with greater pain relief and emotional resilience. Professor Napadow's upcoming FDA-approved MDMA study will further test whether strengthening this brain-to-brain synchrony can amplify clinical benefits in patients with chronic and cancer-related pain. He emphasized that the psychedelics should be viewed not merely as drugs, but as tools to deepen human connection and enhance the art of medicine.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Panelists agree that psychedelics are not anti-cancer agents. They do not shrink tumors or extend survival. Instead, their promise lies in alleviating suffering, restoring agency, and redefining meaning in the face of mortality. The therapy structure, compromising preparation, dosing, and integration, requires trained facilitators, careful screening, and ethical oversight. Future research will focus on optimizing protocols, ensuring accessibility, and employing group-based and telehealth models for scalability implementation. As Dr. Bassant summarized, these substances help patients reconnect to themselves, to others, and to life, even as they confront death.
The SIO plenary concluded with a unifying message. Psychedelics bridge the biological, psychological, and spiritual dimensions of cancer care. As data mature, oncologists may soon integrate psychedelic-assisted therapy alongside conventional palliative and psycho-oncological approaches, not as an alternative, but as enhancement of holistic healing. The speakers collectively called for larger randomized controlled trials to validate efficacy, establish safety, and guide clinical practice. For now, this growing body of research signals a paradigm shift, moving from management of disease to restoration of wholeness.
Wow.
Pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, I think that's a great article.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like where things are going. The things are slowly going to, healing avenues. You're seeing more stuff about healing, not just medicating, but healing, which
Yep.
is such a great thing. There's more healing needed, damn it. Wow.
Wow.
Well, that was some good stories, actually.
It was. It was.
I mean,
Sparked a lot of great conversation.
I might have to read a little bit of that Mugglehead stuff there. It's not one I was turned on to until we got two of the stories today. So,
Oh, yeah. No, Mugglehead Magazine's a great magazine.
yeah, I think I'll be going in to share that. Later on today, I'll be going out to get some more Amanita muscaria.
Amanita.
Hey, Chica, come on up. Come say hello to everybody. Come here. Come on. Come up and say hi. There we go. She's going to go with me to go collect some Amanita muscaria.
Oh, hello, Chica baby.
We go hiking through the woods and we find wild harvested Amanita muscaria. Scaria. She says, yeah, just hurry up so you can let me out, you jerk.
Yeah. Come on, Dad.
Oh. Wow. Well, any cool and exciting last things you want to talk about?
There will be no show next Tuesday. As it is November the 11th. So we are taking the day off for Remembrance Day to honor our veterans, those who never came home, and those who came home different, and those who stand beside them. So as a veteran, I thank all of the other veterans out there, and I thank you for your service.
Well said.
How's that? Thank you. And with that, that's pretty much the end of the show.
Thanks for playing. Thanks for joining us here on the Mushie Moment for Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. We'll see you next week. Bye, Cindy.
No, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Oh, in 2 weeks. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye, Cindy.
Bye, Steve. Bye. Bye, everybody.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.